a service of CNC Worldwide.
CNC Podcasts are a service of CNC Worldwide, brought to you by the Greece Chamber of Commerce, providing more than 800 member companies with business solutions since 1984. The Rochester man accused of promoting terrorism will have his next court appearance in January. Wafid Elfki was in court Wednesday when his court-appointed lawyer asked for a delay because of the sheer volume of evidence to be reviewed. Assistant U.S. Attorney Brett Harvey says his office turned over some 90 CD-ROMs of audio recordings, two-thirds of them in Arabic. There are hours of video surveillance of Elfki with federal informants and thousands of pages of social media postings that Harvey will use to build his case. Elfki is accused of trying to recruit members into the Islamic State insurgent group and trying to buy guns for an attack on American soldiers returning from Afghanistan. A persistent offender who went to prison after his sucker punch caused a Hilton man's death is back in prison. Sean Sanders was arrested in September for violating parole by using drugs, violating curfew, and failing to attend mandatory programs. Sanders is the man who punched 36-year-old Dan Andrews of Hilton in the back of the head after a dispute over a softball game in 2008. Andrews died from swelling of the brain, and Sanders was sentenced to 2 to 4 years in prison. He was released in 2011 after serving two-thirds of the sentence. A 22-year-old Rochester woman has been charged with leaving the scene of an accident resulting in death after last weekend's fatal hit-and-run on Hudson Avenue. Tycrecia Robinson was arrested on Tuesday. Papers filed in court say she's accused of running down Jonathan Rivera as he was crossing the street late Saturday night. She allegedly then scraped the registration sticker off her windshield and left her car behind a friend's house. Rivera died about 2 hours after the accident at Strong Memorial Hospital. The 20-year-old Greece woman charged with striking and killing a Gates man on Howard Road in August has pleaded not guilty to charges of manslaughter, DWI, and leaving the scene. Mariah Eccleston is currently free on bail, due back in court October 15th. She's accused of hitting 20-year-old Joseph Pacheco as he walked back home from a convenience store early in the morning. Conflicting information has been released about Tuesday's stabbing of a college at Brockport student in his dorm room. Victim David Medina says the man who assaulted him at the door to his room is a stalker who harassed him with phone calls, even though he threatened to call the police. Monroe County District Attorney Sandra Doorley calls it a case of domestic violence. But the 18-year-old Brockport freshman denies having any relationship with his attacker, 20-year-old Osaze Timothy. Medina says in high school he was friends with Timothy's sister. Somehow, he says Timothy got his phone number and began calling him repeatedly. In a statement, Medina says Timothy told him on Sunday, "I'll see you in the afterlife." Tuesday morning came a knock on the door. Medina says when he opened it, Timothy stabbed him. A Level 3 sex offender who caused concern by moving into a Webster neighborhood has been arrested by police in Arundecoit for not telling them he was leaving. Arundecoit police say 33-year-old Justin Michiki failed to notify them he was moving out of their jurisdiction. He did notify Webster police he was moving to Webster, less than a mile from Webster Thomas High School. But Arundecoit police were looking for him after officers visited his listed address and couldn't find him. A spokesman says they confirmed he had moved and not informed them within 10 days as required by law, so they had him arrested. A gas tank exploded yesterday while workers were taking it out of a car being junked at a scrapyard off Lyle Avenue in Rochester. It triggered a fire that sent a plume of black smoke into the air visible from a mile away. The explosion set fire to about 200 gallons of gas and oil. Rochester firefighters were there within 4 minutes. They had the fire under control in 12 and were able to keep it from spreading. Despite the explosion and fire, nobody was reported hurt. Kodak is eliminating about 70 jobs from its Rochester area operations. This is the company's biggest layoff since it emerged from Chapter 11 bankruptcy a year ago. Kodak, which is now a printing technology firm, says it's cutting 85 positions in all as it re-engineers its operations. The company says no product delivery will be affected. Kodak once employed some 50,000 people. Currently, it has 8,800 employees worldwide, 2,300 in Rochester. Your next CNC podcast is whenever you click on one of these pages and catch one, and we post text updates as necessary. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.